So the specific reason to build this rifle is really to go moose hunting, but I could do any hunt up here in North America, and I wouldn't be even afraid to use that in a dangerous game scenarios. Hi everyone, Adrian here. Welcome to Wild Bush and Grit. Who doesn't like a Tikka, or who doesn't like a good wood thumper? Today in this video, two worlds collide, and the result is a phenomenal rifle. So to put things in context, it's how and where I hunt. I've narrowed down to the most basic characteristic that I need for almost all type of hunts that I can do up here in Eastern Canada. And ever since my first rifle, I've always been on the quest for that perfect match for me. And I've been spoiled because the first rifle that I got was a Tikka. I went full circle, actually. My first rifle that I got was a Tikka 6.5 Creedmoor. Really accurate rifle. And all the other rifle that I got after that Tikka never match, what my Tikka was able to do. And it was always, even though I really love, most of the rifle that I have, there was always a little bit of disappointment when I was getting a new rifle. And after trying multiple type of cartridges, different rifle manufacturer, full circle back at the origin, and the cartridge that I choose now to hunt with here in the dense woodlands is the 9.3 by 62, the OGs of dangerous game cartridge. Yes, it's very old, but it's still extremely efficient. So my love with the 9.3 by 62 started with this rifle here. This is a Husqvarna FN Action M98. Sorry, the bolt is not here. Doesn't matter. That's the rifle. The only thing I didn't, quite enjoy much about this rifle is the length of the barrel. It's a 24, I think it's 23.6.7, almost, let's round it up to 24-inch rifle, and I find it way too long for my needs. Getting in the branch and getting snagged everywhere. Then, out of nowhere, I was browsing online, and there's a shop actually close to where I live who had this rifle. So, a Tikka T3 in 9.3 by 62, and that's all I needed. The barrel is 19-inch, so, 0.5 inch longer than what I would have wanted, but doesn't, at this point, it's fine for the prices that I got. It was fairly cheap. The muzzle is threaded. I believe it was a Battu. There are some holes on the barrel on top here, which indicate that maybe there was a front sight, and then, the Battu sight here, the rear sight. And it was a no-brainer for me. When I saw that rifle, the price, the cartridge, the length of the barrel, boom, it was a done deal. So I won't make a typical, rifle review here. I'm just going to talk roughly of some of the modification that I've done. But in a nutshell, Tikka offers fantastic, phenomenal product. Their bolt are the sleekest bolt in the, in the market. The closest, if you want a bolt as sleek as this, that is not Tikka, you have to go full custom. Magazine, yes, I'm not a fan of the magazines. I would prefer a floor plate, but it's okay. I can make concessions on these things. And the scope that I've decided to run with, this is a Leupold VX3. It's a 3-10. But what most important for me here is the size of the objective. It's a 50mm lens, and that's gather a lot of light, especially in low condition. Again, when you're hunting in the woodlands, dense brushes, it gets dark very quickly. You can still have like a half hour of sunlight in front of you, but it's already really dark, and that scope makes a difference. Few modifications that I've done. There are a few things, as much as I love Tikkas, they're not the perfect rifle, okay? Don't get me wrong. I really absolutely adore them for the price and the quality that they give, but there are a few areas where you can actually improve those rifles. 9.3 by 62, powerful, stout recoil. It's not a 375 H&H, but it's a little bit higher than the 35 Whelen. And the first thing I did was to put an aftermarket. This is a limb saver recoil pad. Here at the back, very squishy, very nice, very soft. The T3 stock is famous for being hollow and make a lot of noise, and I fixed it. When I removed the original butt pad, I actually filled the cavity of the stock with insulation foams, the one that expand and dries up hard. So, there's no more hollow sounds. One thing I did here is I drilled a hole, I added a QD sling mount on this side and another one here on the other side, so I can carry the rifle in an almost ready position. For scope rings, I went with the Sako Optilux, and I really like this type of rings. Yes, they're two-piece, but they're sit really low on the action, and I have a great cheek weld with this setup here. Right now I'm running medium size rings. You can see the scope has very little clearance here, but it's just enough, tight enough. This is fantastic. And what I like most about these rings is, let me show you with, so this is the actual rings. They're blued. I really love their look, but they come with a bushing, a polymer bushing that wraps, that wraps your scope and prevents, first you don't need to lap these rings, and they wrap nicely and they prevent actually some damage. So this is the bushing, this is the actual rings. Another thing you could look into is to replace the recoil lug. 9.3, again, that recoil is fierce, and the old T3 had an aluminum recoil lug, which is doesn't hold up. So I've upgraded mine with a proper steel recoil lug. Now the question, what about the accuracy? Of course, because a rifle has to be accurate. Tikka did not disappoint once again. So I've shot extensively the last couple of days. I've done some load development, trying different type of bullets, and I think I found my pet load for this autumn. Actually, I was looking for Nozzler Accubon 250 grain. I couldn't find any, so I settled with the Nozzler ET copper monolithic bullet. For my reloading, I will make a separate video on this because I think that's there's a lot actually to talk about. But what I can say is I'm not loading the 9.3x62 by the old pressure standard. I'm actually using 30/6 type of pressure. There's some data available online that can help you do that, but you have to be extremely cautious when you proceed. And this is a modern rifle. Technically, it should hold up those higher pressure, but still, go really low and then you work up. At the range, this is a 10-shot group at 100 yards, which sits right below the 1 MOA, right? So right now it's a 1035 and MOA is 1047, if I remember correctly. I think, 10-shot group at this distance, at this size, to me, it's a done deal. Another bullet I tried that my rifle actually didn't like was the Lapua Mega SP 285 grain bullet, and I must have, and honestly, it's not bad, but it's not as tight as the 250 grain that we have. So it's almost, this is 2 inch. Yeah, so this is 2 inch wide. The first setup that I did, I was using a different scope, which was a little bit lighter, smaller, and I was at 6.8 pound. And now let's see how much this is. Let me turn it on. So right now it's keep fluctuating, but 7.37 pounds. Very good, very good. I'm ecstatic to put this rifle to the test this autumn, and I'm probably gonna go deer and moose hunting with this. All right, so stay tuned. If you want to know more about my reloading process for the 9.3x62, I'm gonna make a video, very details. I've documented my my journey reloading this cartridge. And as I said, I am not following standard procedure, so I'm, you know, I'm veering away from that the old ways, and I'm trying new stuff with modern powder and